Bed Bath and Beyond, BBBY, is literally on a free fall right now after market. It's it's bad. I mean, it's really bad. But I've got something that I want to say, something that I think is very important for a lot of people to be able to understand. Unless you're really like a professional trader, you trade on it every single day and you know exactly what you're doing. And even if the train has already left the station, you can still make profit out of it, then that's fine. But if you're just the ordinary guy out there looking at this stock or any other meme stock, I call it meme stock, and trying to make a profit out of it, these are the type of things that it's like there are certain things that you need to pay attention to. But this one display, I know what I'm about to say is going to be completely unpopular, but I just have to say it. This particular play right here, to me, it feels more like it's a pump and dump. Okay, yes, Ryan Cohen, he was literally one of the guys at the center of the GameStops, like we all were enjoying back then. And now he came out and bought a bunch of stocks. You guys already know the story, so I'm just gonna go quickly through it. Bought a bunch of stocks into Bed Bath and Beyond, betting that it's calls options. Let me just clear that, call options. Betting that they were the stock would go up to $80. And a lot of people on Reddit and everybody and everywhere else, people started jumping on the wagon. This is one thing I say. Once people start jumping on the wagon, and if you want to get into it, you want to get when it's at the beginning. You don't want to get when it's already at the top, because right now there's a lot of bag holders, like way too many bag holders than anyone would want to. But that's how it is. It just works that way. And then everybody jumped in. And of course, a lot of people are going to believe that this is going to go to $80. Am I saying like it's never going to do? No, because a squeeze, it's a squeeze. Anything can happen. We saw what happened with GameStop, right? But it's like everybody gets to believe in it, but you need to look at the signs and how much volume goes into and what's going on exactly, specifically. Yes, we know Bed Bath & Beyond, or BBBY, is one of the super volatile stocks. If you actually go back and try to look in the history of the stock itself, you're gonna realize that from time to time it does jumps back and forth. It does squeezes. Those little squeezes, they happen from time to time. And this was one of them. But guess what? Everybody was thinking that he was gonna hold, or Ryan Cohen, that's what I mean, he was gonna hold until it gets to maybe 80 or something. But then he decided to pretty much flip flop and sold literally everything after he filed that he was gonna sell. And guess what's happening? Boom. Damn. Like literally, there some people did make money, like the Freeman boy, which he already had money in the beginning, but still he made over $100 million. But after investing like $20 million in the first place, but still, sounds like a pump to me, if you look at it from that perspective, right? But for what I want to say in this video is that the moment you see a stock taking off like you see here, because by the way, this is a daily chart that I have, right? The moment you see it started gapping up and it gaps up and it gaps, if you are not with the train, you have already, it's like it's already too late to get in. It is too late. Like I said, unless you're a professional trader who knows exactly what they're doing, they can get in, get out, and know they have a specific plan on how they trade. They don't care if the stock is going to go to $80. They just care about the momentum that's happening for every single minute that the stock is moving. And look at the EMAs. Yes. But if you don't do that, in my own opinion, I don't think anyone should jump into it. But that doesn't mean you cannot take advantage of things like this, because there are other stocks out there that have a similar setup, that when you look at them every now and then, these stocks, it's like, yes, we call them meme stock, but one of the bigger reasons why we call them like that is because sometimes they don't actually, it's like they don't care about what the state of the economy is. It's all about plays. It's all about the squeeze. It's all about the amount of shorts. It's all about all that stuff and what's going on around it. And so there are so many other plays that are literally set up just as the same, that it is not, I'm gonna say easier, but if anyone want to take like advantage of them, you have to be able to pay attention to what's happening to it. It's like BBIG, which by the way, few days or a few weeks ago, a few days ago, it just started trading again after it was halted by Nasdaq. But when you look at it, like I said, similar setup. It always jumps every single time there is something. It will gap up, and gap up. And you can see it. Another gap up. It always does it back and forth. And after it started trading again, look, guess what it just did? Gapped up again. The thing is, you need to be able to see when these plays are at their lowest. Because now you can start to recognize the patterns of how long usually it takes, or at least how often these type of patterns happen. That way you get in the train before it left the station. Then now you set up yourself in a really good position. Another one, it's Ethereum, ATER, right? ATER. I just want to show you the type of same setups that if anyone want to take profit out of these type of things, they need to be able to look at it before it happens. But by looking at the patterns that have happened before, because patterns tends to repeat themselves. But like I said, if the train already left the station, it's too late, which is what's happening with BBBY. And like I say, there's way too many bag holders right now. Like not a lot of people are not happy, but it is what it is, right? Again, this is it, Otter, right? Ethereum. You can see it always gaps up, but volatile stock can also gap down. As you can see how much it always tends to do the same thing. It gaps up again. Last time it did was in April, right? We had a rally. It happens, and right now we're still lower. It means, again, because they are some of the stocks that have the highest short interest in them, there's always something that acts as a catalyst at a certain time, which usually happen periodically, and they tend to always rally quickly when that happens. All you got to do is keep an eye on them. You don't have to follow everybody else. You could pretty much be one of the guys that are actually looking at these plays before they happen. I'm not saying you got to follow them. I'm not saying this is the stock you got to buy. I'm not trying to have anybody pump anything. Just don't do that. This is not what I'm saying. I'm just saying avoid jumping into a train that already left the station. Most likely doesn't end well. Most of the time. 99% of the time. It doesn't end well. And so these are some of the play. And then I've got like BKKT. This is another good one. And there's so many out there. They have the same type of setup. There we go. And so when you look at the states of the markets and what these play do, it's completely different. Like what Bed Bath & Beyond did, it has nothing to do with the state economy or how the stock market has been performing. It all has to do, it's like a pattern that repeats itself as long as there is a really good catalyst, which this time was Ryan Cohen. It happens. And most of the plays jump up in sympathy with this. I wanted to say. But anyway, to give you a quick guide, I just want to show you the SPY. The reason I know this video is not going to be exactly popular in terms of what exactly I'm saying, because no one wants to hear, especially when they're losing money. I just wanted to mention that because, yes, we are all apes. Yes, we all want to be able to, crash the short sellers and everything else, but you got to be really smart because the people on the other side that we're thinking we're all allies together and do all these things together, but they also have another agenda, because they got investors to please, or at least themselves to make money for themselves. Even they're gonna be like, oh yeah, let's go apes because we gotta go against, we got a common enemy, quote unquote, short sellers. But just be careful. Anyway, this is the spot. As you can see, I have we have reached kind of a resistance level right here. We've seen it from the time the SPY was literally at the top, and since we've been going through this kind of a flag going down spiral, and every single time this has been the top and this has been the bottom, and you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, or should I say 6 times, including this one, every single time we try to pull. And then you can see every time we reach this with support and resistance at the top, which was the last all-time high, and then we try to come back to it, resistance, and then resistance. So we got 3 different points, and now this is where we are right now, and we're still resisting. I'm not saying we're gonna pull all the way back down. That's not what I'm saying, but it is possible, especially when you started looking at things like this right here, where you can literally see that the stochastic is pretty much overbought. And there's a possibility of a pullback. I'm not saying we're gonna crash again. I think we've reached some kind of bottom, at least for now, for where we were. But we could pull back just a little bit to get a little breather before we go back up. The stock market is a pattern. It's like patterns always tend to repeat themselves, and you have to be able to follow them every single time to at least be able to know what could potentially happen. It's probabilities. Doesn't always act the way you would think it would be, but at least every single time you have a certain percentage of success than not knowing really what you're doing. Anyway, that sounds more like a lesson, but I just wanted to show because I've seen this happen, and I was telling myself it's not gonna end well, and it did, and it's not looking good. I mean, let's look at it again. Oh boy. Let's look at it again. Not sure why my computer is a little slower today, but whatever. Let's see what's going on here. Oh boy. Now we're down to 13 and some change. Oh yeah, it's bad. All right, guys, I'm sorry. See you guys in another video. Pretty sure next Sunday, you guys are going to get something really good coming out of it. Thank you, guys. As always, as for me, I will see you. Ooh, doesn't look good at all. Oh, my goodness. Sorry, bag holders. Bye-bye.